So a while back, I did a video called Most Profitable Investments, Tokenized Casino Investing, and I decided that I wanted to create an entire playlist talking about most profitable investments. Now, obviously I'm going to kick it off with the BetFury token. I'll get to that in a minute. I've got some updated math for you. Got some incredible news you're going to want to hear, but basically let's talk about almost 0.5% a day yield, meaning passive income. That's crazy. We'll get to it here in a minute. But I'm going to do this series, and in this series, the idea for these investments is they offer returns that are far higher, sometimes 10 times as much or even hundreds of times as much as you could possibly earn in traditional markets. Now, a lot of them will be based on newer technologies like cryptocurrencies, etc. However, none of these are going to be like your one-off, hot tip. It's not going to be about timing the market. Like, get into this because I think it's going to explode in the next 3 weeks or 3 months or 3 years. This particular playlist is about being able to participate in an investment today, at least in the short to medium term, that is offering higher returns than what you could get anywhere else in the traditional market. And you don't have to worry about, quote unquote, timing the market. Sure, it's always better to be in early, et cetera, but if you didn't get in the last 24 hours, this isn't one of those videos where you're going to hear some YouTuber say, I made 1,000% on this purchase. You should have been in. That's not what it's going to be about. That's not what this whole series is about. So today I'm going to be talking about BetFury tokens. Now I have to say this, don't take this as investment advice. I am not a financial expert. My channel is considered an entertainment channel. I always tell people consider my content absolute satire. First and foremost, before you ever consider investor content, I am simply a crypto enthusiast. I just like to talk about cryptocurrency. I like to talk about earning income, passive income. And I believe cryptocurrency offers some of the highest options. There's some of the greatest potential in the future because I believe that this is a technology that will ultimately rule the world. But that is, and I mean that literally, like everybody will know about cryptocurrency and at least a basic idea of what a blockchain is. Now, obviously, I'm enthusiastic about this space. Don't consider this financial advice. I can't say that over and over again. If anything, listen and be like, hey, I want to do my own research, figure out what's going on there, that sort of thing. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the BetFury tokens. I'm going to break this down. What is it? I'm going to show you some real world math. I got a buddy who basically, he put $1,000 into this yesterday. So I have some updated numbers to talk about. I'm going to tell you who he is, by the way. He's a mysterious YouTuber. I'm not going to give away his name or his channel till the end. But if you want to find out who he is, moving and shaking in this space, dropping $1,000 on BetFury, then stay towards the end of the video and I'll show you who he is and I'll talk about him towards the end. Now, if you don't know what BetFury is, it's basically an online gaming platform. Now, I'm not talking about coming here and quote unquote game on the website. That's what it offers to our customers. We're looking at this website primarily as investors. Now, I love BetFury. I love gaming websites. I love gaming platforms, and I like the idea of being able to invest in them, particularly when I can earn a high return. The fact that I can earn such a high return and it's in cryptocurrency, that for me is a game changer. So just recap what BetFury is. Online gaming platform, one of the best when it comes to appealing to a customer base, very customer centric. If you look at the website, it looks appealing. It looks exciting. A lot of bright colors, a lot of contrast. They offer everything on here that you could imagine in gaming. I mean, there's all the different games. They got jackpots. They got everything from the slots, the live casinos, et cetera, et cetera. The cool thing is if someone's outside of a jurisdiction, they can't, like if they're in a jurisdiction where it's like in the US, I don't think you can play on like online gaming platforms like this, like the live games and stuff. There's certain things you can't do. Well, if you try to do it being in the US, they basically, the providers will tell you, you can't do this in your jurisdiction. That's super awesome. It just it shows you that they're on the up and up and they're trying to be in business for a really long time. They have some major customer promotions. Let's come over here and let's look at promotions. And again, all this is important. If you're going to make some sort of an investment, you want to know first and foremost that it is a business that has the potential to grow and to last. So they've always got these incentives going on all the time, even for chatting. That's awesome. Even for chatting in Telegram groups. I always recommend that if you're an investor, even a player, but if you're an investor, that you check out the telegrams of all these platforms. They did a recent promotion here that was super unique. I love seeing unique things done by these platforms. This box-free BTC, I actually made a video. I'll link it above. I'll put it down below talking about this. But basically, they were giving away, literally, they used their marketing budget, and they're giving away monthly rates. As you can see, I've got several of these boxes down here getting 15%. Look, check this out. 15% a month. And if you want to do this, I mean, it's a roughly $10 worth of Bitcoin, and you can get 15% in 30 days. By the way, this isn't a scam. This isn't some sort of high-yield investing program. They are only doing this for 10,000 of these boxes. They had an Emerald one up here that was 0.01, I think, or 0.1. They've already sold out of that one. It's all about getting attention, bringing people to the website. They do a great job over here at constantly giving you a reason to come back to the website. Like this faucet here, 25 Satoshi every 20 minutes. I need to do this actually. I'll do it here real quick. Again, when you come here, what are they doing? They're telling you to follow on Telegram. They're constantly marketing. Everything containing a boat. I think it's just that one. Each image containing a boat. Oh, there's a boat. Very good. And they talk about staking. So see, this is just about advertising. It's really cool. Play the games, get BFG tokens, earn dividends on BFG every day. Now so the way to think about what these BFG tokens are, what they are, I'll talk about that next. By the way, there you go. I withdrew. It'll take about 20 minutes. It'll fill back up. I can do another withdrawal. It's just about getting people to come back. If you withdrew every 20 minutes, you'd make 1,800 Satoshi. It's just fractions of a Bitcoin, but it's just a way to get people to choose to keep coming back. With that being said, let's talk about what is the BFG token. So the BFG token is essentially, the best way to think about it is it's the best reward system that you're probably ever going to see. So a lot of online platforms, if you look at traditional online gaming platforms, they'll offer things like customers cash back. And BetFury offers a version of that as well. They offer customers cash back on their losses. And the higher rank VIP level you hit, the more you've played, the more percentage you get back on your losses. It's kind of like a perk, right? For loyal customer loyalty. But imagine if you were actually able to play and potentially in the long run make a profit. I know that sounds crazy, right? But that's essentially what they do. The way it works is you get BFG tokens for your play. Now we don't quote unquote gamble for tokens, we mine tokens. And I'll tell you how we mine tokens here in a minute. But the idea is that they're rewarding players for their play, and if they stake, they earn free tokens for playing. They stake the tokens on the platform, which is nothing. They automatically are staked on BetFury. You don't even have to know how to stake them. They just automatically hold them there. And they pay you a daily dividend. So check this out. Right now, they pay out 3% of this per day. And again, I'm going to show you some math. It's going to blow your mind. They're up to 60 Bitcoin in the dividend pool, which is huge. This is a milestone for them for sure. So there's a total of $623,000 here, roughly $338,000 in Tron. If you're not familiar with Tron, it's just another cryptocurrency. $31,000 in USDT, which is a cryptocurrency pegged to the US dollar, and then 21 million BTT, which is roughly 7,000, which is just another cryptocurrency closely connected to Tron. Now, 3% of this gets paid out. So there's over $1 million here, right at $1 million. Yeah, over $1 million. $1 million here that gets paid out. 3%, roughly, give or take $30,000 a day gets paid out, distributed to all token holders. If you have 100,000 BFG tokens, they're showing you this is what you're going to get right now. And there's a lot of things that affect this, and I'm going to talk about what affects it, and then I'm going to talk about showing you kind of the real life returns over time. So 100,000 BFG tokens is going to get you roughly 79,000 Satoshi. Now this doesn't get distributed until I think it's 8 or 9 o'clock Eastern time in the US. So there's another 7 hours basically to go till it gets distributed. So this will go up. It may go up to 80, 82, 83, 85,000 Satoshi. Who knows? Right now, this is what you would get per month. If you don't know what this is, 100,000 tokens, you would get $238 roughly when Bitcoin's is at $10,000. Let's see what Bitcoin's at. So Bitcoin right now is at 10,300. So let's just say 10,000, be conservative. So let's just say 10,000 to be conservative. Now, at 100,000 Satoshi, so that's going to be about $7.90. This is going to be $238 roughly, right? Yeah. And, you know, you're looking at about $700 right here at this moment, right? A 7 million. Yeah. Because 1 million would be about $100. So $716. So what would it take to mine 100,000 BFG, and how do you mine them? That's what we're going to talk about next. Because mining is the cheapest way to get the tokens. So I have a video called the mogul method that talks about mining these tokens. And I'll put a link down in the description. Also down in the description, I'll put a link for BetFury if you want to come check it out. It's an affiliate link, so that will be you'll be supporting the channel if you go there using my link. But I want you to imagine for a moment getting how much would you need to pay your bills for the month? Do you need, you know, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000? Like, what if you could just literally calculate that? Now I'm going to oversimplify this, but let's just say it's $700. I got to make sure that's right. That is right, because 0.7 would be 7,000. Okay, so let's just say it's roughly $700. Oh, that's a quarter. Sorry. Per month. I was thinking per week. Per month. Okay, so let's just say it's $230 roughly. $230. You could do the math to figure out how many BFG tokens you need. Now, most people wouldn't be able to buy all those BFG tokens over time, but just think about it. You could compound that. Okay. What would it cost to mine this? So there's a little top secret YouTuber I'll share with you in a minute. He told me last night, first of all, you need to know how the mining works, how mining prices work. Let me just show you that real quick. Right now, the mining price is, for their in-house games, which tend to be the best mining price over time. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7,300 Satoshi, because there's be another 2 more zeros here. 7,300 Satoshi right now. And 7,300 Satoshi is probably, I don't know, let's look at it. So 7,300 Satoshi is about 75 cents. That's 7,300 Satoshi wagered. Wagered, not won, not lost. We explained this in detail in the mining method. So basically, you look at the house edge, which is about 1.99% on our mining method. It's about 1.99%, so roughly 2% of this. So you're down to about a penny and some change is what the actual cost is per token. Now, I will tell you, that's actually a negative for me, because the only risk that you have with any of these, if you're like, this sounds too good to be true, here's the risk. The risk is that there's a total of, is that 5 billion tokens that they have that will be mined. Total of 5 billion. And the mining price goes up. Like, this is going to go up. There's only a few more left on the stage, and then the price will go up again. And I think it's going to go up, I think it's 7,400 Satoshi next. And then it will be 75 on the next mining stages. So it will just keep going up. It just keeps going up. It just keeps going up through every mining stage. And so if you look, so far there's 1.6 billion tokens mined. 1.6. They're going to 5 billion. So what that means is, if you mine and stop, like if you're like, okay, I need $2,000 a month or $3,000 a month. I'm just using that as an example. And you think that you're going to somehow, move around your investments or whatever and put a big investment in here so you can get to that earnings every single month. And I am ramping this up. So those of you who saw my video a couple days ago, I was down at like 12,000. I'm ramping the 12,000. I've been ramping this up little by little. But I'm about to, after what I found out today, I'm just going to probably go in even harder. But so here's the thing. Think about it. If you think, oh, I'm just going to, is roughly 230. So I'm going to go drop, I'm going to go mine about, let's see, 500,000 tokens, because if I mine 500,000 tokens, I'm going to be getting, over $1,000 a month. And you know what? Heck, let's just take it to 1 million tokens, because if I mine 1 million, I'm going to be over $2,000 a month. That's a good extra income, right? Heck, do it 2 or 3 times and you can live on it. So if you think you're going to come do that and then you're just going to sit there for the next 30 years, it's not going to work that way. Because among other things, like, does a business continue to run well, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Among other things, you're going to get diluted a good, 60% over time. So, but it doesn't happen all at once. It takes time. So you can basically fight dilution by compounding a certain percentage. That's how you fight dilution. And you might not, truthfully, that's assuming that this dividend pool stays the same. If all of a sudden this thing goes up to 600 Bitcoin, all bets are off. If it ever grew to, 600, and I'm just throwing numbers out there, I'm just using an example. I'm not telling you it's going to happen. I highly doubt it ever happens. But if it did grow to 600 Bitcoin, which wouldn't be impossible. I mean, it would be only paying out 3%. It wouldn't be impossible. But if it grew to 600 Bitcoin, you would be getting paid out your percentage on 6 million, which means all these numbers would 10x right here. So you'd be getting, instead of 2,000, you'd be getting like 20,000. Again, ultimately, you're going to get diluted, but if you got diluted 60% on 20,000, you'd still be doing pretty good. So what does it take to mine these tokens? So let me back up. I'm talking about BetFury today. You will notice on some of the other tokens, it's a lot more expensive to mine them. That is a good thing, in my opinion. I wish it cost, instead of wagering 7,400, I wish you had to wager, which ends up being 70-something cents. I wish you could wager $50 or $100 worth of Bitcoin before you ever got one token. And the reason I say that is because dilution would just happen. As an investor, you would just get diluted a lot slower. Now, dilution's not inevitable, like indefinite. It's only going to dilute, at least in theory, until that coin is totally mined. And as long as they don't do anything funky with the business or the coin, you could continue to earn that. But listen, I got to say this. This is fun to think about, and it's exciting. And the returns, that's what I say short to medium term, because who knows what happens long term? Who knows? So again, not investing advice. I get excited talking about this stuff. I think it's a very interesting business model, and it's an investment that offers a lot of promise, but it doesn't come without risk, because we don't control these tokens. We don't control this business, and we don't know what they're going to do. And this isn't like it's a stock investment where we have certain legal rights to the business. No, we don't have any legal rights to anything other than they agree to share part of their daily dividend rewards to us. Again, it's really set up as a loyalty program for the players. But you can absolutely mine these tokens using the mogul mining method or the mogul method. You can absolutely mine these tokens and earn a great reward. So let's talk about what happened last night at the current mining rate of 7,400 Satoshi. So a buddy of mine told me last night that he spent roughly $1,000. Well, he did spend $1,000, and he got right around 5,300 tokens. I don't know if it was exactly 5,300 or 53,000. I don't know if it was exactly 53,000, give or take. But basically, he got right around 53,000 tokens. So that's 500. So basically, 100,000 is going to be about $8 and some change tonight, maybe $9. So let's just say he's getting about $4.50 a day. Again, it depends. If this dividend pool goes down, he gets less. So it depends. But let's just say that he's getting, and it depends on the price of Bitcoin, right? But at $10,000 per Bitcoin, he's going to be getting about $80. So he'll be getting about, I guess, $4. We'll say $4. Let's see where he ends up at. So $4. Let's do some math. I thought I had my calculator. So $4 times, and I'm just using round numbers. I've done this earlier on $5, so we'll see what it is with $4 times 365 days. So he basically made, in this case, $1. He's doing almost 1.5%, 150%, but we're saying 146%. Again, a year, this could change drastically. Who knows what's going to happen in a year? But let's just say this is where he's at. Now, BetFury has been around for over a year now. So, maybe they'll be around for another 5, 10, 20 years. The potential here is what's so exciting. I mean, that's the key. The potential is what's exciting. But look at this. A dollar, basically 1.46, I'm sorry, 146% a year on his $1,000 investment is what he's getting. So if you say 146% divided by 365, 0.4 on the nose, 0.4% is what he's earning. So that's crazy. So $1,000, he's getting 0.4%. So he's getting $4 a day. Think about this. If he did that 10 more times, if he put $10,000 in there, he'd be getting $40 a day. $40 per day. Okay. Now, I told you, you do get diluted. The dilution is not the biggest issue. The biggest issue is that BetFury continues to operate a good gaming platform, and they at least maintain their current revenues and their current dividend pools, because you can outrun dilution just by compounding. Look at this. $1,000, 0.4% a day, number of days, 365. This is assuming he invests everything. Well, if he invests half of it, because he's like, hey, I want to stay ahead of inflation, of course you're going to include weekends, calculate. So he's going to start out with $1,000. He's going to end up doubling it in 365, and he's going to be withdrawing along the way the whole time. So he's going to total withdrawals. He's going to withdraw and make a little profit. And then after that, at the end of the year, think about this. This is nuts. At that point, he's still going to have $2,000 earning. At today's rate, that's roughly $8 a day. After getting all of his investment back, that's $8 a day. Now factor that by 10. If he'd done it, $10,000. Now he would get everything back within the year. And think about this. He's making $80 a day. That's crazy on the current rate. Again, assuming the current rate, not taking into account some dilution, but this is getting his money back plus staying ahead of dilution. You're going to stay ahead of dilution here. I told you max dilution is going to be about 60% probably, give or take. I mean, it's more than 60%, but there's 1.6 billion tokens mined. They got 5 billion total. Assuming they do nothing funky with the token and all of a sudden say, oh, we got 20 billion token, which, there's no indication they could do that, but you never know. But assuming they don't do anything funky, you're going to come out looking good, looking really good. Now, let's just say there's something else here that's interesting. Let's just say it doesn't compound for 365 days. Let's just say he says, hey, I'm going to compound this thing for 90 days, and I'm going to put in 100% reinvestment for 90 days. So in 90 days, he's grown his principal by 14, meaning he's got $1,400 worth of tokens. There's nothing he can pull it out because it's just compounded. You can't pull the tokens out. You can't. Some tokens I'll cover in other platforms. Subscribe to the channel. I'll cover other tokens that you can actually sell on an open market, but these you can't. So the BFG token, he would, in 90 days. In 90 days, he's gonna let's do this a little further, just because I want to see what it takes to get to 100. Let's say 110. There we go. At 110 days, he's more than 50. Let's see. That's amazing how it changes that much. Yep. It only take 102 days. So in 102 days, he's got 50%. Now, why is this important? Because he's grown he's grown by just compounding, not adding anything to it. At the current payout rate, he's getting 50% more than what he started with in daily income. So he put in $1,000. He compounded till he had about $1,500 worth of tokens, and he's currently getting, or he was getting about $4 a day here. Just being conservative, it could be 5 or 6. It could go down sometimes, but let's just say $4 a day. Right here, he's up to $6 a day. Or if it would have been $10,000 for some of you, that you're trying to think about, different amounts. At $10,000, it goes from $40 a day to $60 a day, but you only put in $1,000. So here's why that's important. what is your daily, just in 102 days of reinvesting, your $1,000 is now earning $6. That drastically changes your interest rate going forward. So watch. From that point forward, everything's changed. So you only put in $1,000, you compound it to $1,500. And then when I say $1,500, again, it's $1,500 worth of tokens, which is probably at the current mining rate about 75,000 tokens. But watch this. Watch this. Now you're getting $6 a day times 365 equals, look at that. Your $1,000 after 102 days, the next year after that, it's going to get you $2,000. So you're going to make 219% the year after, just compound for 102 days. And what happened, there's a term in investing called your cost basis. Your cost basis for 75,000 tokens was only $1,000 because you compounded. That's what I want you to see here. That's what people miss, this compound aspect. Your cost basis, you got $1,500 worth of tokens, but it only cost you $1,000. Now, the reason this works with a lot of investments, but it's very obvious here because you're making 0.4% or more per day right now. So just in 102 days, all of a sudden your cost basis is $1,000, and you're getting $6 a day, which comes out to 219%. Now, if you compound it from that point, again, I'm just showing you numbers just to get an idea. So if you compound it from that point, 2190, 4%, length of days, let's do 365. We'll do 50% reinvest. There you go. Now you're gonna have pulled out more than $1,000. You're gonna pull out 267% is what you've pulled out. That's what you've withdrawn. Yet you've grown your tokens. You've doubled your stack. Now instead of 75,000 tokens, if you're starting with $1,000 worth of tokens, now you're at what, roughly 150,000 tokens. 150,000 tokens that originally you only spent $1,000 for. Like, this is crazy powerful. By the way, let's come back to the $1,000. People don't understand how powerful compound investing is either. So let's just do this. We'll do the same thing at 50%. I just want to go back to earlier where we were at. So that got you to 2146. You were able to withdraw $1,000. But let's just assume you're like, it's $1,000. If something happens with BetFury and the BetFury tokens, if it doesn't work and it all goes to crap, it's not into the world. I have $1,000 I can choose to spend, risk, so to speak. And so you're like, you know what? I'm just going to ride this one all the way. Let's just see where it goes. I'm going to compound 100% for a year. What happens? See, we got your total net profit in 365 was $2,000. That's including the $1,000 you pulled out, and it's including roughly $1,000 worth of tokens that you've got that you're holding as well. But what would the total amount, meaning right here, your token, you have $2,000 worth of tokens. But what would it grow to if you didn't pull out 50%, you just compounded it? It's going to blow your mind. 4 times. That's powerful. 4x. Now, 4x, that's funny. 4 times. So now all of a sudden, your 50,000 tokens became 200,000. And you're earning, and now it goes even better. What if you decide I'm going to dollar cost average into this thing? What if you add $100 or $500 or $200 or $50 a month? See, then it, and I don't have this calculator, won't show me that, but then it just shows you, it goes that much more. It's going to grow that much faster. It's going to compound that much faster. So what strategy do I suggest you do? I don't suggest you do anything. But I just showed these numbers so you can figure out the strategy for yourself if it's something that you want to look into. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you something. BetFury could screw it all up. They could run a horrible business tomorrow. The owners could get hit by a bus tomorrow. I don't know. They could say, hey, you know what? This token was a good run. We're going to stop using this token. I don't think they're going to get rid of the token, but I'm just saying they can make changes, and we have no legal right. We just agree. Again, it's set up as a player's. It's not set up as an investment. It's really a loyalty program. But you can absolutely take advantage of this and really grow it. 100,000 tokens is going to get you almost $10 a day right now. $8 or $9 a day, depending on the dividend pool. So $1,000 gets you 50,000 tokens. And again, you just compound from there. I mean, if you had $250 and you put that in, you compounded it for a year. In a year, you're going to have basically $1,000 worth of tokens. Right there, $1,073 worth of tokens. The advantage to going in early, hard, and fast is you immediately can start compounding or start doing 50-50 withdrawals, compounds, and stuff like that. You can start getting things back, and you have the cheapest mining rate. So this mining rate, where's it at? See, I feel like it's moved since we looked here last. This mining rate keeps going up. So the more it costs you to get the tokens, the less return you get. I'm telling you, BetFury, I'll put a link down in the description. If you want to understand exactly how to mine the tokens, by the way, you've seen the screen pop up. I'm testing out this mining strategy over here. I'm only betting like 10 Satoshi, so I'm just testing it out. The best mining strategy for most people is really going to be the moolah method. I'll put a link to the moolah method above, and I'll put it down below if you can take a look at it, or on the end screen. I'll put it on the end. That's what I'll do. I'll put it on the very, very end. By the way, I didn't tell you, who is this? Who was the YouTuber that told me about this? It's Nerdy Dude Stuff. You can come check out his channel. I'm subscribed. I've got hit the bell notification icon. He talks about a lot of stuff. He's puts up videos sporadically. It seems like he's always having fun on his channel. You got to come check him out. He messaged me this morning. He said, "Hey, put $1,000 in BetFury. Got 53,000 tokens." That was just good confirmation. It's just good to know. I'll find out tonight exactly what he gets paid out, and I may put it down in the description. So be on the lookout for that. But when I find out exactly what he's gotten paid out, that's gonna just show you some more current numbers. I'm thinking about kind of graphing out some of these investments and see how they do. I may do that on my channel. Let me know if you want to see that. And I may just kind of create a graph and kind of see over time, how do they do? Do they do as good as we hope over the next year? But imagine this. Imagine getting to a place where you have 2 or 3 platforms, that's 4 or 5 platforms, that you're making $10, $20, $30, $40, $50, $100 a day. Like, I don't know how long it would last. I mean, I do think one of these tokens is gonna make it. By the way, I put Nerdy Dude Stuff. I'll put his link down in the description. One of these tokens is absolutely going to make it, no question. And I'll cover other platforms in other videos, so be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to see that. But by the way, don't mind their TRX token is currently getting 32%. Mind the BFG token. This number here is not accurate. This is not accurate. I just did the math, so just look at the most recent math that I just did, and now you know how to do the math in the future for yourself. But these tokens, like, I do believe one of these investments is going to go long term, and I want to be on whichever one ends up going long term. But in the short term, short to medium term, you could make a living literally, and it wouldn't take a ton of. Over the next year, if the platforms and the tokens that I cover in the next several videos that I do in this series, in the next year, if they continue to do well, think about that. A year from now, if you put in $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000, and it did go well, not investment advice, it may not go well, but if it did go well, you think about that. You could be making a living in some cases on some of these platforms. And imagine your neighbors coming over talking to you. You're on your phone looking, and all you're checking is your dividend pools. Like, what do you do for a living? You come over here, you come to staking, you're like, what's the current dividend pool? What's my next payout? Where am I at? By the way, my goal is to get to 1 million tokens, if you're wondering. What's my next payout on this platform? What's my next payout? And that's what you're looking at. You're over here like, oh, I got, 50,000 tokens, 1 million tokens, 5 million, 10 million tokens. You're like, what's my next payout? And that's what you do for a living. You check your divs. Someone's like, what do you do for a living? I'm a, technology entrepreneur. What do you do for a living? I'm a casino mogul. What do you do for a living? I invest in undervalued cryptocurrency asset businesses. What do you do for a living? My goodness, that could go on and on and on. What do you do for a living? That's crazy. And here you are making withdrawals, $50, $100, $200, $300 a day just in dividends. That's crazy. That's crazy. 0.4% a day. That's a real return. It's earning 0.4% a day right now. Where else? Nowhere else in traditional financial markets can you find that. Nowhere else. And by the way, God forbid this thing. I keep trying to tell you that it might not go well. That's true. But what if it does? What if this is the one? I mean, they've made it a year. A year is a lifetime in cryptocurrency. What if this is the one over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years? You know, as an investor in cryptocurrency, people never think about what if crypto goes mainstream? What if? All of a sudden, these gaming platforms get a lot of attention. A lot of attention. You might be glad that you even own 10,000 of these tokens one day. And if it continued to, last indefinitely, you'd be making a dividend income stream, essentially a part owner from a revenue standpoint for life. That's obviously best case scenario. But it's kind of crazy to think about what's possible. That's why I say this is by far one of the most profitable investments currently right now available. It might be risky, but the upside potential is staggering. Hey, thank you so much for watching. I'll put the mogul mining video on the end so you can understand exactly how we mine these tokens on basically it's a basic strategy or a basic method. Strategy is the wrong word. It's a basic method that will work for almost all of these platforms. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, crypto equals freedom. Crypto might equal wealth. But this is Crypto Wealth. I'm out.